Thank you so much, Pastor John. And I'm delighted to have you all here. And thank you for inviting us to share with you the place where we work and live. And it is indeed a delight to be here and to witness the, the wonders of nature here in the United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates is like United Kingdom. There are different countries, but here we call it Emirates. And each emirate, as we will discover, has different types and color of the sand. As you can see, all of the pictures on this presentation are taken when we were collecting the sand samples. And so enjoy this. And this is our sand honor is under the nature with level 1 under conservation award master, and it's created in 1956. Um, when we were collecting, it was early morning is fine, but when you get to the middle of the day, it is so hot. And I was asking, how could anything possibly live and thrive in the desert? But look at this beautiful flower, beautiful plant that is there, and it's an accessory to that of the sand with all of those ripples. So let's dig in. Okay. Oh. So the collections of the sand, if your club will be doing it, for probably a 30 samples of various kinds. But sands can be found in lakes, rivers, beaches, ponds, streams, creeks, probably in any place. But if we will be doing, there will be an activity later on in the presentation. We have to label them. What I had here in the UAE is desert sand, inland, and beach sand. So all of those we have to label them where we had it. Let me just have one here. Okay, here. So if you can see, I'm not sure, but I placed here Dubai. So there are seven Emirates in the United Arab Emirates: Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Al Quwain, Alain, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah. So I placed Dubai, and I had it from the desert, and also where is the location, and as well as the coordinates. The coordinates is, like when someone would like to see or to find in Google map, then we'll have the coordinates. So that's how we were going to label our samples.
Evelyn, I stopped sharing your PowerPoint presentation just so that we can see it better.
Okay, again.
Yeah, no, we did see it. We did it. So that's beautiful. Wow, thank you.
There.
There'll be a lot of jugs being filled with sand very soon.
All of them. There are some that I wasn't able to put on the jar, but we can collect as much 30 in this place. So
beautiful.
But anyhow, we will do some activity for those that will not have access for any collection of sand. So let me share again my screen. Okay. All right, so let's proceed. Okay, so what does the term sand mean? And we will be naming kinds of sand. Sand is naturally occurring granular material composed of finely divided rock and mineral particles. As the term is used by geologists, and particles range in diameters such as 0.0625 or 1/116 millimeters to up to 2 millimeters. An individual particle in this range size is termed as a sand grain. So every little piece of that bottle they are all grains. Okay. So there are major types of sand: the resinous, carbonate, and pyroclastic. This type of sand, like the resinous, are eroded from rocks, sedimentary, volcanic, and crystalline, and is generally transported by water, and most sand are of this type. So the carbonates are the type of sand that has organic origin. It might be from ground shells, corals, and other marine resources. And then the pyroclastic, this type of sand is created when volcanoes erupt and blow their ashes into the atmosphere. Okay, so the origins of the sand. So sand is made when rock of any kind is eroded by wind or water. The picture on the background is taken in Sharjah, Al Jubail area inland. It's basically inside the town, but not so much, not so crowded. So the mineral content of the sand is the same as the parent rock: quartz, granite, feldspar, and the color of the sand depends on the parent rock. I wish that there is an invention or creation where we can get the DNA of sands, because we'll never know the history where it came from. And mostly like here, it's amazing that I cannot fathom, I cannot understand how each Emirates would have different colors. So, but anyhow, let's proceed. What is the difference between sand and the soil? The soil is very similar to sand. Actually, it is formed in a much similar way. In fact, sand is a component of the soil. The main difference, though, is that the soil has been mixed already. It contains a lot of organic materials such as decayed plants, decayed animals. So everything that is into the land mixes it with the sand, and then it becomes a soil. And then what is meant by shape, surface, grain fracture, and grain size? Let me know if I talk so much, because I'm also feeling nervous. But anyway, let's go for the shape. The shape of a grain of a sand can tell us about its history. Rounded grains are those which are relatively old, the rounding being caused by the grain getting blown around by the wind and pushed around by water. Grains with more angular surface are relatively young, like this one. This one, we can zoom it as maybe. This one is from Oman. Oman is another country, but it's inside the Emirates. And then these are from the Rocky Mountains. So its grain is not as polished and smooth as that compared of those the one in the desert. Okay, so they did not have enough time to get rounded by the forces of nature. And then the surface. The surface texture of grains may be polished, frosted, or marked by small pits and scratches. But this can be only done if we will do the binocular microscope. So the grain fractures. In the field of mineralogy, fracture is a term used to describe the shape and texture of the surface formed when the mineral is broken. So minerals often have highly distinctive fracture, making it a principal feature used in their identification. So that's why different location would have different form or different fracture of the grains. So here are some of the examples of the grain fracture. We have the obsidian, which is under the conchoidal fracture, which is a curved breakage that resembles the concentric ripples of a mussel shell. So it often occurs in amorphous or fine-grained minerals such as flint, opal, or obsidian, but may also occur in crystalline minerals such as quartz. Subcondyal fracture is similar to conchoidal fracture, but not as curved as this. And then the limonite, which is the earthly fracture, it's reminiscent of a freshly broken soil. It is frequently seen in relatively soft, loosely bound minerals such as limonite, kaolinite, and albuminite. And then next is the native copper, or the Hackley fracture, which is a jagged fracture. It's sharp and uneven. It occurs when metals are torn and is so often encountered in native metals such as copper and silver. And then the chrysolite is the splintery fracture, comprises sharp elongated points. It is particularly seen in fibrous minerals such as chrysolite, but may also occur in non-fibrous mineral as kyanite. And then magnetite, or the uneven fracture, which is self-descriptive. It occurs in a wide range of minerals, including arsenopyrite, pyrite, and magnetite. Okay. So what about the grain size? That's what I've said. Different, even like this, both beach, but different grain size and different polishing with the different colors. So also for the particle size, which refers to the diameter of individual grains of sediments. Okay. So let us define the following. Glacial sand is A sand produced by the action of glaciers, grinding the rock over which it passes, and then the calcareous sand composed primarily by calcium carbonate or limestone. And then the quicksand, which is a colloid hydrogel consisting of fine granular matter such as sand or silt, clay, and salt water. In the name quick does not mean fast, but alive, as in the expression the quick the dead. Glass sand is sand with low iron content and high silica content. This type of sand is ideal for glass making. And then the molding sand, foundry sand or green sand, is sand that when moistened or oiled tends to pack well, hold its shape, and it used to process the sand casting. And then the polishing sand can be used as abrasive material for polishing materials. And this type of sand is very fine grained. The building sand is used for making concretes. Sharp sands with angular surfaces are preferred. This is the one that we use for construction houses and buildings. Filter sand can be used to filter water or other liquids. A media filter is a type of filter utilizing a bed of sand. In our province, we still use the sand as water filters so that we can have drinking waters. Okay, and the water can be used for swimming pools, aquaculture, irrigation, stormwater management, and other applications. The furnace sand is used for the lining of floor of industrial furnaces or the ovens, which are used for processing molten metals such as steel. And then the lakeshore sand created by the wave action of a lake. A prime example would be the Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore in Northwest Indiana. Okay, so part of our requirement is using a hand lens or a microscope. We will be examining sand grains, looking for the features which will describe the shape, surface, grain fracture, and grain size. You can also note its color and variability and all the grain size of this. And then we'll proceed. I will be displaying on the screen the activity so that we can complete the honor. Okay, so part of our requirement, we have to memorize Genesis chapter 22:17, Proverbs 27:3, and Psalms 139:17 and 18. And it says, Genesis 22:17, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possessions of the cities of their enemies. And then in Proverbs, it says, stone is heavy and sun is a burden, but provocation of a fool is heavier than both. And Psalms 139:17, 18 says, how precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of the sand. When I awake, I am still with you. And as what we are always having in our Pathfinder classes, that nature is the book of God. It's the manual where we can always see and appreciate God's love for his children. You know, how could something be alive and beautiful that springing out from the sand or from the desert itself. When I was doing the sand samples, I marvel how could all these ripples be so perfectly lined up, and they are also all beautiful and they are so serene. And so I have collected some from Dubai because I am at the Emirates of Dubai, so it's easier for me to get some of the samples. And then we went to Fujairah, mostly on one inland and two beaches. As what I've said, I put the area, what type of sand that I get from the beach, from inland, or maybe if you will have from the pond, from the rivers or streams or creek, and then the place where you took it, and then the coordinates. And then, as you can see, as I scroll all the photos, you will appreciate that they have different color and fractures and grain size. And as you can, if you will Google United Arab Emirates, it's not as big as United Kingdom or a big estate in the US. It's not as big as that. It's just a relatively small country, and yet have so many different colors and grains of the sand. So these ones are from Ras Al Khaimah, one from the beach and one from the desert, and these are from Sharjah. So if you can see, mostly are desert, but yet they have different color. And these are all the ones that you are seeing from my back. These are collections, not complete, but all those that I have labeled. Okay. And so, as I was doing, I made a mistake that I did not do the screenshot of the Google map when I was taking the coordinates, when I was doing all the other Emirates. So most of these coordinates, most of are screenshots of when I was doing the collection in Dubai. As you can see, even on the Google map, you can see that the grading, the colors are different from one point to the other. So see, we have so reddish, some are pinkish, some are beige and cream, and we praise God how beautiful His creation is. Only even on those small details, and yet it's so spectacular to see. So these are the samples, and you can see there, even if it's together or not, the colors are different. Okay, and of course, the perks of being in United Arab Emirates is the encounter with camels. So we have so many camels. There are different safari camps that are here that you will have an encounter and be with the camels. But this one I did not expect, and so yes, it was like this. And yes, always be mindful of our environment. Always be mindful of the God's nature, because we might know what we'll have encountered. Actually, he wants to chase me because he thought that the camel once thought that I would be giving food, but so it chased me. So I hope you enjoy your class. It's relatively very short, and then I will be sharing with you the worksheet, the activity that we can do so that we can finish the honor. Let me stop. Let me stop share first. Then let me get the one that I need to share for our activity. If you have any question, if you have anything, let me know.
So we have a beautiful comment saying excellent, excellent, excellent. Somebody says UAE is lucky and blessed to have different Emirates. Yeah, I'm sure. Excellent presentation comes from Anna. Thank you very much for that. We have and here comes a worksheet. That will be a great help for everybody. We posted the links of if you didn't download it, make sure you download the worksheet and fill it out, because that's one way of completing your honor. So make sure you go step by step. Here it is. You ready?
Yes. So our activity one for those who can collect as much sand samples, it will be good if you would have the real sand samples. So you get once again, we will do the classification if it's desert, inland, beach, river, sponsor, lakes. Put it on where's the location. Let's say the town where you took it, and then the coordinates. You can always have the coordinates if you would have data on your mobile, and then search on in Google and put onto your location. And then the date of your collection, the shape, the surface, the grain fracture, and the size. So at least 5. And for those who do not have access to sands, okay, let me stop share first, and so that you can see. Okay, you would need Epsom or any type of salt, Epsom salt, table salt, just different grains of salt. Epsom salt, table salt, I keep repeating. And then put a food color. So I did this, yeah. And so different colors, different grains. And then once you have, at least we said 5, but you can do as many because you can give this as a gift. But let us proceed again to our share screen so that you will see what we will do with all of our artificial sand. Okay, so we will complete 3 arts and craft. You can do sand photo frame, locket, hourglass, sand painting, sand and glass container, aquarium, water filter. Okay, if you have already an aquarium, make sure that you will clean the aquarium and send photo. Okay, and then so these are the sand painting, and then this is the photo frame. See, you can all do that with your colored sands, or you can put it in a bottle or small vials, and then you can put a Bible verse there, and then you can give it to somebody else or to your friends. And this is the water filtration, and that's the aquarium. You can also do the hourglass if your salt is so fine that you can do. See here, and then we put on the succulent plant. These are the bottles. So, and that's about it. Make sure that